I adopted my husband's illegitimate children after his affair ruined his life, and now they call me mother. For 7 years, my life was defined by empty nurseries and negative pregnancy tests. I went through 4 rounds of IVF, spent our entire savings, and cried myself to sleep every time a doctor shook their head. I wanted to be a mother more than I wanted to breathe. My husband, Derek, claimed he was heartbroken too. But while I was drowning in grief, Derek was finding comfort in the arms of his 22-year-old receptionist, Chloe. When the truth came out, it didn't just break our marriage, it exploded it. Chloe was pregnant. Not just with 1 baby, but eventually 2, back to back. Derek left me, moved into a trashy apartment with her, and tried to play the role of the hip, young dad. But karma moves fast. Reality hit them like a brick wall. 2 babies under 2 years old isn't a romance movie, it's a war zone. Derek and Chloe couldn't handle the stress. They started spiraling hard. Derek was fired from his corporate job for showing up hungover, and Chloe spent her days partying while leaving the toddlers with sketchy neighbors. Derek's family, who are deeply religious and obsessed with appearances, completely wiped their hands of the situation. They called the babies sins and bastards and refused to even look at them. I tried to move on, but I couldn't stop thinking about those kids. They didn't ask to be born into a circus. They were innocent. My heart shattered. The place smelled like stale beer, the sink was overflowing with mold, and those 2 beautiful, dirty little toddlers were huddled on a mattress in the corner, crying from hunger. Derek and Chloe were passed out on the couch. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I went out to my car, called Child Protective Services, and waited. When the state removed the kids, Derek's family refused to take custody. They preferred the children go into foster care rather than suffer the shame of the affair. That's when I stepped up. I walked into the family court, looked the judge in the eye, and applied for emergency foster placement. Derek and Chloe were too broke and too addicted to the nightlife to fight it. They eventually surrendered their parental rights in exchange for me not pursuing them for child support. 6 months ago, the adoption went through. I legally became their mother. I used Derek's own family inheritance, which I won a portion of in our divorce settlement, to buy them a house with a massive backyard. Yesterday, the oldest, Liam, scraped his knee. He didn't run to the door looking for Derek or Chloe. He ran straight into my arms, buried his face in my shirt, and whispered, "I love you, Mommy." Derek is currently living in a motel, texting me weekly to tell me I stole his life. But the truth is, he threw his life away, and I just caught the blessings he dropped in the mud. I deleted my daughter's acceptance email to Oxford University and forced her to work at a local grocery store instead. To my daughter, Chloe, I was the ultimate dream killer. The morning she was supposed to get her results, I intercepted the email from Oxford. I deleted it, wiped the trash folder, and told her she didn't make the cut. Then, I dropped a bombshell. Our family was broke, and she needed to start working a register's shift at the local grocery store immediately to help pay rent. I wasn't just following her to college, he was planning to isolate her thousands of miles away from me where I couldn't protect her. If I told Chloe, she would have confronted him, and a boy that obsessive is dangerous when cornered. If she went to England, she was walking straight into a trap. I needed her grounded, in a highly public place with security cameras, while I worked with a private investigator to get enough evidence for a permanent restraining order and arrest warrant. For 3 months, Chloe hated me. She'd come home from the grocery store with tear-stained cheeks, throwing her apron at the counter. Noah stayed close, comforting her, completely unaware that the grocery store manager was my cousin, who was feeding security footage of Noah stalking her aisle straight to the police. Last Tuesday, the trap snapped shut. The private investigator found a GPS tracker welded under Chloe's car and intercept logs proving Noah. Once he was behind bars, I sat Chloe down and handed her a printed packet. It wasn't a grocery schedule. It was a formal, physical letter from the Dean of Admissions at Oxford. I had flown to the UK myself a month prior. I laid out the police reports, the stalker evidence, and the tracking logs to the university board. Oxford didn't just understand, they accommodated her. Because of the extreme circumstances, the dean granted her a specialized late-semester exemption diploma, a rare clearance allowing her to bypass the missed autumn terms, fast-track her first-year credits online with private tutors, and join the campus live in the spring with a full university-funded security escort. Chloe stared at the letter, then at me, the tears blurring her vision. She realized I hadn't destroyed her future, I had just cleared the sharks out of the water before she jumped in. She's packing her bags for England next week, and for the first time in 3 months, she didn't throw her apron at me, she just held me and wouldn't let go.